What's up, everybody? My name is Scott Waters and welcome to Live to Metal. It's time for another rock metal update. That's right, it's time for another rock metal update. This metal update is going to be all 7-inch singles. I do have a bunch of 12-inch singles and I wanted to do a 12-inch update, just didn't have the time tonight. So I'm going to do the shorter one, which is all 7-inch singles, stuff that I've purchased or received over the last 2 months or so. All 7-inch singles, but not all metal. A little bit of rock, a little bit of punk, a little bit of everything. This one, I'm going to start off with the killer Kane Band. And I'd like to first off say very special thank you to DJ Legion from YouTube for letting me know that this thing was out, because this is one of those records that you'll never get an original of. And glad to have a repressing of it. This repressing is on Hozak Records. And who is the killer Kane Band? Well, it's basically made up of two guys you may know. First of all, you got Arthur Kane, who the band is named after, from the New York Dolls, as well as a guy named Blackie Guzman. Now, Blackie Guzman is this guy right here, that you may recognize as Blackie Lawless from Wasp. And this was his one of his pre-Wasp bands. This is from back, man, it had to be, what, 76, 77, somewhere around that range. And this is, like I said, a repressing. It kind of has that punk feel. It's, you know, it's got the J card sleeve, which is, you know, very typical of punk 45s. And then you've got the Z, which I guess all the Hozak records have the Z. And then you've got the Hozak on this side as well. The original did not have that, from what I understand, the original did not have that center ring. It had a different center ring, though this is a duplicate of the original. And it came with this photo of the band, which is pretty cool. And well, Blackie's not looking much different than they did in Wasp right there, so very cool. Alright, next up we've got one that I picked up on eBay for $4. This is a Japanese single for Heart, Barracuda. Love this era of Heart, very organic, very heavy rock, especially the song Barracuda. And this is an awesome single for $4. Backed with Cry to Me. Because it was only $4 and shipping was $3, I went and looked for more singles from the same seller, because he was offering, you know, free additional shipping for additional 45. So I went ahead and found a few more from him, and he's had some great ones for a good price. So this is one that I grabbed from him. There's several more in this stack, but yeah, $4 for a Heart Japanese single, well worth it. I'm gonna jump on that one. This one I picked up for $1 at the Albuquerque Record Convention, and it was just in a $1 bin. But this is Heart as well. This is the more poppy era of Heart. This is What About Love, and I absolutely love Ann Wilson's voice. I think she's a great vocalist. Backside is What About Love, and I really like this whole album. You know, what can I say? It's not quite the same as they were in the 70s, but it's still a solid record. You know, if I can listen to the 80s Kiss, I can definitely listen to the 80s Heart. So there you go. One of my favorite thrash bands up next is Anthrax. Black Lodge from The Sound of White Noise. This single is European, and I did pick this one up from that same seller. I think it was only $5, which is a great price for this. No additional shipping, so of course I jumped on that one immediately. On the Electro label, backed with, so we got This Is Not an Exit, the LP version, and Black Lodge, the edited version. And then the actual cover is actually a folded up poster of the band. There you go. Anthrax. Glad to have that in my collection. I will pick up and purchase anything by Anthrax. One of my grails will be to refine the Soldiers of Metal 45 that I used to have back when I was in high school. Just doesn't pop up very often. Recent issue release for Record Store Day. This is the Anthrax Antisocial, backed with In the End, both being live tracks, both remembering the loss in the 2015 Paris attacks. Of course, Antisocial being a Trust cover, I believe, from the French band, and In the End being one of their more recent songs with Joey Belladonna on vocals. Both songs live with Joey Belladonna on vocals. Very, very good single. Quite enjoyed it, actually. And see if I can get this thing out of here. It's on. There you go. There's the label, and it is on translucent red vinyl. And then here is the back cover. And this thing says it's pressed in the Czech Republic, so I guess it would be a Czech Republic pressing. Picked this one up on Discogs because I didn't get to go to Record Store Day, and eBay sellers were ripping people off. So there was a couple honest sellers on Discogs selling this for what it should be sold for, so I grabbed one. Picked this one up from that seller that I bought the hard single for. This is Y&T Mean Streak. This is a pre-release single. Back to it, Straight to the Heart. Very cool. The version of Mean Street on here is just a little different than the version that's on the the album. I'm not sure if it's a demo version or if it's a different mix or what the deal is. It just sounds different to me than the one on the album. Anyhow, great single from a great band from one of my favorite time periods of this band, Y&T Mean Streak. This is a Swedish punk thrash heavy metal band called Iron Lamb. And I checked these guys out on YouTube not too long ago. Loved them. Contacted the band when they contacted me back. Very cool guys. So I picked up this single and love it. So now I'm going to be looking for their full-length album. But yeah, they kind of have that Motorhead vibe. You know, that growling, heavy bass, gravelly vocals, the speed, the aggression, everything you heard. You think about with Motorhead. These guys have that same kind of deal going on. But they don't sound necessarily like a clone of Motorhead. But you should definitely wear that influence on their sleeve. Another one that's in like a gatefold sleeve. So you get a little mini poster of the band. And there is a center ring. Iron Lamb. This next one was actually a gift from Cloudy Miller from the UK, and I showed this in one of my recent The Mail videos. And this is TYGERS of TANG Hellbound. A note came with this saying the free single, the audition tapes, which you can see right there, he didn't come with this. It only had the original single in it, which you can see in the back here. This is the original single, Don't Give a Damn, and Hellbound. And here's the back cover. However, being the collector I am, I immediately, that same day I opened the box up, got onto eBay and started looking to see if anybody had a copy of the audition tapes. And luckily enough, I found somebody selling for a very reasonable price the audition tapes all by itself, not with the rest of it. So I picked this up and finished off the collection. Now I have the whole thing. So had to show that because I showed it before and it was incomplete, and man, incomplete records drive me crazy. So I'm glad I could find a good copy of the bonus 7-inch single, the audition tapes. And that is just raw, early TYGERS of TANG. Great stuff. Glad to have this one. So another to add to the TYGERS of TANG collection. Another one of my favorite thrash bands. This is Hirax, backed with Syrian Hassan, I believe is how you say it. West East Thrashaholic Beat Up. Little awkward title. This single was pressed in. Where was it pressed at? I don't remember now. Awesome. So always happens when you get on going on video. You can't remember where something's pressed at. Regardless, very cool compilation of split record, whatever you want to call it, between two bands, and maybe actually the band this band Sarahan Hassan, which they're a thrash band, and let's see if they're says where they're from, because it's the same place where this is pressed. I still don't see it. Figures. Anyhow, if I can get this thing out of here, it's on black vinyl. There you go, black vinyl, and you can see there's custom black and white center rings with the little sewn together slight nod towards Exodus there, with the two babies being sewn together. The West East Thrashaholic Beat Up. I am going to the San Diego Metal Swap Meet this coming up weekend. Caton is supposed to be there, so I'm kind of hoping I'll get to meet him and have him sign this for me. So, why can't I remember where this is from? That drives me crazy. anyhow, whatever. Sarayan, Hassan, and Hirax, Death Militia, and Broken Neck Live. And this actually does feature Glenn Rogers on guitar, I believe. Glenn being a good buddy of mine, so I'm glad to have this for that reason as well. One I found while I was out in Arizona not too long ago was $5, still sealed. This is Iron Maiden's The Evil That Men Do, just one of their more recent US pressings that I didn't yet have. Backed with Prowler 88, so $5 was a good price, so I snagged it. Like I said, it was still sealed. It is sealed no longer and has been played. It sounded great. I guess you could call it first pressing because it's never been pressed in the United States before, so it's the first US pressing. KROKUS, another one to add to the KROKUS collection. Not one of my favorite records from them, but a pretty cool single. School's Out, being the Alice Cooper cover, backed with a live version of Screaming in the Night. US pressing. From that same seller, I got the Heart single from. This is Gillan Trouble. This is a German pressing on Virgin Records. And you may have seen me show this Trouble single once before. Difference being that was a UK pressing. This is a German pressing. That was a two album set, you know, 2 45s, 2 7-inch singles. This is being the single, one English, one UK. I mean, one German, one UK. Love Gillan, one of my favorite vocalists, musicians. And I love this era of Gillan too, this early 80s stuff when he was into that whole new wave of British heavy metal sound, and he actually had a band that, you know, which I've described and talked about a million times before, so I will shut up now and move on to the next one, because the next one is Gillan, Relentless. And this was actually thrown in as for free with the other ones from this same seller. He actually contacted me because of the Gillan single that I purchased, this Trouble one that I purchased, was actually supposed to be the UK pressing, but then he realized it was the German pressing. He felt bad, which it wasn't a big deal to me. I actually thought it was cooler because, like I said, I already had a UK pressing, but he threw this Relentless pressing in as well. So I actually have a picture disc of this, and now I have the real 7-inch black vinyl version, again on the Virgin label, On the Rocks, Restless, and the back cover looks like, if I can get it out of here, like this. And then, much like the Anthrax I showed earlier, this thing opens up into a giant Gillan poster. Kind of cool picture of Ian. Kind of disappointing that it's not the entire band, because that's one of the things I've always liked about Gillan the band, is that it was a band and not just an Ian Gillan solo project. So, but regardless, it's still a very cool release. Nice poster. So I'm getting a fairly good sized Gillan 7-inch collection going now. One of these days I'll have to just show all the Gillan I have on vinyl. And next up, this would be Gillan. And this is Nightmare from the same seller. Again, all these were under $5. Some of them were $3, $4. This one I didn't have, so I jumped on it. This being the UK pressing, I believe. Yes, UK pressing. Back with Bite the Bullet. Live at the Reading Festival. And it's on the same Virgin label. Alright, and another one that I've been picking up quite a few of. This is Gary Moore, Ready for Love. From 89, I think. From the After the War album. Ready for Love and Wild Frontier Live, recorded live in Stockholm. Gary Moore, one of my favorite guitarists, who is sadly no longer with us. One of the original, and this is from the same seller too. Now this one I think was $8, if I'm not remember correctly. But every time I ever, nope, I'm sorry, I picked this one up at the Albuquerque Record Show, and it was $8. And I found this from, you might have saw me flipping through records on my Albuquerque Record Convention. The guy who had all the Motorhead 12-inch singles, he had a box of 7-inch singles as well, and I pulled this one out. Cover's a little wrinkled on the top, not too bad. Vinyl's in very good condition, and $8 is a decent price for this. Translucent red vinyl, original pressing from 1978, I believe. Was it 8? Wasn't it? Iron Fist. Might have been early 80s. Probably 81, 82. And it's backed with, oh, I already tell you what it's backed with. Yeah, Remember Me, I'm Gone. Oh, yeah, right there. Iron Fist UK Tour, 82. So, 82 would be correct. Genesis, Misunderstanding. Y'all know that I'm a big Genesis fan. Duke is one of my favorite records from them. Picked this one up on eBay as well for, I think it was like $3 with no shipping because, again, same seller. So we got Behind the Lines and Misunderstanding. And I believe there is one more I wanted to show here. Hang on, let me find it real quick. I should have had it out. Okay, this was one that came from, I just showed just the other day a video from Ben, who sent me a bunch of singles, and I'm sure I showed this one. This is Warm Wet Circles. But what was cool that I didn't see in this until after I started, so I started looking at it, was it came with this, I'm going to stick it back in the sleeve so it's kind of brittle, being as old as it is, but it's kind of a press release for it, and it looks like it's all in German, which of course I can't read it. 1987, so there's a, you can kind of see it there. So I thought that was really cool. Never seen one of those before. So obviously this is a promotional single, and that that little item came with it, and it is on the EMI label. There you go, MARILLION. And that is it. That is my short but sweet 7-inch update. I'll be back soon with a 12-inch massive vinyl update. In the meantime, I hope you enjoyed this one. Talk to me on the bottom. Anybody who puts something down there in the comment section, I will reply back. Thumbs up if you liked it. Subscribe if you haven't already. Go ahead and also, I mean, if you're on social media, please share my videos. I would appreciate it. And that's about it. Talk to y'all later. God bless. Stay strong. What's up, everybody? My name is Scott Waters. Welcome to Life to Metal. It's time for another edition of Screwing Up.